Hi guys, how you doing today? I'm Nyte Lyfe Lexx and I'm your host. And we are in the nightlife with the podcast here. And I'm so thankful for having you guys in today. I have a very special guest, and you know what? It's Friday, and I hope everybody having a beautiful day. We're definitely here, and we're going to talk about issue that we may have in our community, and I believe I have a beautiful guest today. I know I have a beautiful guest today that would share just some insight on the topic trauma. Okay, guys, this is where you get real news in real time. Here in the nightlife, we express our thoughts on what's actually going on in our culture and in our community. We cover in depth topics about entertainment, self-care, and mental health. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real about issues that we have going on today. And I'm here to just bring awareness to you guys and about what really matters. Let's discuss the elephant in the room. That's just what I'm about. Okay, guys. So I would love for you to introduce yourself, Miss Nikki, and let everybody know who you are, where you from, what is it that you represent, and what is it that you have, and anything that you could provide for us.
Okay, I'm so excited to be here and welcome to everyone that is listening. My name is I'm a life and business coach. I specialize in trauma recovery and self-love. So catch me talking, I'm probably talking trauma and recovery. I'm a complex trauma, and this is what brought me to this work was my own journey of healing and transformation. Open up and talk a lot about some questions for you all and get us all right. We need to be more aware and more informed on trauma and mental health and self-care and self-love. So that's what I'm here to share with you guys today, and I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm so glad to have you here today. You guys, this was a very special show for me because as I am having a transition in my brand in the nightlife, and me always talking about the entertainment, music, you know what I'm saying, and just different topics dealing with, our, what's going on socially. I feel as though it was time for me to move more into my purpose. And one day I was in the clubhouse and I joined Nikki's chat room, and she was speaking on trauma. And when I join clubhouse chat rooms, I normally don't say nothing. I just sit back, and just listen. But I just felt like it's just something to share. And I want to thank you again for, having it open like that to where I can speak. And you gave me some good feedback about myself from what I did share with the room, and that just wanted me to even come back and book a consultation with you. You guys are able to go to her website. Can you share your website with us?
Sure. My website is www.nikkimadenu.com, and you can also find me on most handles at on Instagram. I'm also on Clubhouse, like she mentioned. I do a Clubhouse with my first name, also Nikki Madenu. So you guys can find me there, and if you want to talk more about, then you can book a. You could reach out to me.
Okay, guys, so you can go to her website, and I will have it in the description. And also, guys, we're live here on YouTube, so everything's there. And go ahead and book that phone call with her so she can advise you and on what to do for further services from her. You guys, it definitely goes a long way, and that's why we're here talking, because sometimes we may just need somebody to talk to. Sometimes we just got our friends, and some of our friends are yes men, yes women, yeah, and always agreeing with you. You need somebody who's transparent and here to advise you. So absolutely, you guys make sure you check her out. I will have all her information for you, so don't worry about that. Okay. um One thing that is the topic of the discussion is trauma. What is trauma, Nikki? And you know it's something that is a situation in our community, and our community is aware of it, but can you just share what is it?
Definitely go ahead and go a little. Trauma is a distressing event or distressing experience. It's not limited to the extreme experiences of trauma, are like rape, going through a war, being in a physical abusive relationship, or growing up in an abusive household. around abuse can become traumatizing. Having your needs not met and being neglected is something that can also traumatize you. So it's not limited to the extreme things that we kind of know are traumas, but it can even be being around abusive conversations and things of that sort. And these are distressing experiences that take place that traumatize you. And it's not just a word, there's actually a science behind trauma in the body. And hopefully I'll have a chance to get into that a little bit today. But these are the different things guys as trauma.
Wow. Absolutely. What are the long terms and short term reactions that you get from trauma?
Long term and short term, I would say the short term reactions to trauma, and I'll usually refer to them as responses to trauma.
Okay.
Um, you can have anxiety, you can have depression, you can develop mental illnesses, or schizophrenia, PTSD, complex PTSD. If we think about the trauma responses, which are the stress response has the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, and I'm not going to go too much into detail on that, but those type of responses bring up things like anger, disassociation, isolation, um, anxiety. I can't think of many of them off my on top of my head right now, but there's many different symptoms, addictions. Um, can't think of all of them right now, but these are a few
Yeah.
that we all can relate to.
Yeah. Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. And just from um experience and just seeing family members and friends go through it, and it just seemed like sometimes we just think we're just coping and going through, but these are actually, that's why I said identify, because sometimes we don't be knowing what's wrong or how we feeling, and this could be
Right,
it.
right,
This can be it, and it's just like,
right.
wow, like, why am I feeling like this? So I have here, I know I took a note of like some of, like you were saying, the responses. Like, it even, when I went online and just looked it up, about trauma, it was saying that you can have, flashbacks, strained
Right,
relationships. And you can have headaches and nausea, not knowing. So I
right,
would say this: sometimes people will have issues and be feeling depressed, stress, anxiety, and just thinking it's just something they just going through. Now you could be really going through some type of anxiety and stress, and it could be trauma. People just may not
right.
want to say it, or want to speak on it or
Exactly,
think about that, or think it can't be them.
exactly. Trauma, physical illness in the
Mm.
cause sicknesses. It can cause, like you mentioned, body is pretty much something that the body is that's not healthy for the body. So the body's gonna respond differently for everyone, right? The way I respond may not be the way someone else responds, the way you respond, right? But it's something in the body that's not healthy for the body, so it can cause many different things. And the thing about trauma, it doesn't necessarily mean that because you went through a traumatic experience that you're going to be traumatized, right? Some people go through a
Okay.
traumatic experience, and that particular experience did not traumatize them. They were able to
Yeah.
recover from it. They may have went to therapy. They may have had a really healthy them, or their body may have not been traumatized by that experience. But someone else may have gone through the same experience. Maybe they didn't have the same support system. Maybe they had other additional things going on in their life, and that actually traumatized them. So it's not limited to a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Things can traumatize different people.
Yes, it can be from touching on personal things. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
we're here just to help. And some things that you guys, I may say is just so we can bring the truth out. Some people, women and men, this is not just here. We're not just here for us women. I definitely support us as women, but everybody has could go through these things. From being raped, dealing with neglect as a child, um abuse. It can be from natural disasters, like having these different things, accident, terrible things that happen, that can cause this. And I'm just mentioning this because sometimes when we think we okay, like Hurricane Katrina, I spoke with you and told you I'm from New Orleans,
mm-hmm.
and another hurricane come, you move way too Atlanta or Detroit, and they come and say there's a blizzard coming to Detroit or there's a hurricane coming to Atlanta, you may have flashbacks and be like really traumatized, like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
that's what we are trying to identify for people to understand, like, these things are that, but you are here, Mrs. Nikki, to talk with us about, how to identify and how to deal with it, because we're just going along with our life, our normal lives. We have to deal with our children, people at our
Right.
work, and it's just like our relationships, and we need to be, kind of aware of some triggers that we have.
Right. And typically, the way that we resolve trauma and heal from trauma is pretty much engaging and processing that trauma. I'm going to run through the 5 stages of healing, and I'm not going to go too much in detail so we can get through some more questions. But the 5 stages of healing, and this is something that I kind of put together. This is something that I had to go through, and through all my research and study, I put together these 5 stages to really help people kind of see where they are and kind of know where they need to get to. So the first stage of healing is denial, being in denial and being unaware. Denial is maybe the experience is too intense for you to even think about it anymore. You have numbed it, you have tucked it away, you don't think about it. It's almost like it didn't happen to you. That's denial. You never talk about it. It's not something that you think about. That's denial. And being unaware is you kind of know it happened to you, but you're unaware that you're actually traumatized by it, right? You don't have enough understanding of trauma to know that you are actually traumatized. And then the next stage of healing is going to be that stage of awareness. It's a place where you're now starting to realize maybe my depression is linked to my molestation. Maybe these abusive relationships that I'm in are because I was abandoned by my father when I was young. Maybe this drug addiction has something to do with me being bullied as a child, right? So the stage of awareness is where you're no longer in denial and you're starting to make connections with what you went through and where you are now. The next stage after that is a stage of grieving, where you're going to actually encounter that trauma. You're going to maybe be in therapy or have a coach or start to process that trauma. You're going to start to talk about it. You're going to start to go through the pain, journal about it, and do the inner child work to start to heal. And then after that stage is going to be the stage of acceptance, where you're going to begin to accept what you went through. And then the last stage of healing is a stage of action, where you're going to start to develop healthy boundaries. You're going to start to become all the things that you weren't. Maybe overcome your addictions and things of that sort. So those are 5 stages to kind of give you guys a picture of what it looks like on that healing journey. And you can look at yourself and identify, well, where am I? Maybe you're in denial. And maybe this is a place that you can hear this video today and say, okay, well, what do I need to do next? Come into a place of awareness. So I'm going to pause just in case you have some more questions. I don't want to take too much time, but I hope that was helpful.
Oh, no. No, Nikki, you do your thing. I love it. I really think this is something. This is the table and the floor is for you. Like, say whatever you need to say so that we are informed. In the
Right.
Nightlife Podcast is here to inform everyone. We were here normally just doing Q&A interviews and or whatnot, but now it's to the point to where we need to inform people. Not too many
Right.
platforms today that the world is really watching that get a lot of clout. They're not informing us. They're just gossiping and just
Right.
for entertainment. Let's make entertainment about mental health and about actually
Right.
helping our people, because that's some
Right.
serious stuff right now. It's definitely
And after the
serious.
pandemic, 2 years of the pandemic, um, everybody is pretty much, coming out of a place of, because it was very intense and it brought up a lot of difficult emotions and because the different things that we used to be able to distract ourselves with, maybe going out, seeing our friends, being able to go travel, those things were stripped for us 2 years, and we had to face a lot of different trials and tribulations, and that brought in a lot of difficult emotions that they're still dealing with now. So this having this conversation to start to raise that, to educate our communities on mental health. And yeah, so definitely an important conversation for us.
Absolutely. And how can the community, especially with our people, begin to heal themselves right now?
I think start to speak up, right? ready
Mm-hmm.
to therapy and you're not ready to, see someone, get a coach, whatever it may be, start to speak up, right? You might have a couple of close friends, you might have really close family members, and there might be these things that you've gone through that you've never shared with people. So starting to be vulnerable and transparent and opening up in our communities and sharing our stories, right? Opening up. Yes, I was raped. Yes, I was molested. Yes, whatever the situation may have been, and start to be vulnerable with ourselves. I think that that's the first step. If you have a capability of having support, get support, right? If you have access to therapy, there's no shame in your game. Go to therapy, sit down and talk about the things that you've gone through. That, I would say that that's the first step, to at least start to speak up and bring these issues to the forefront in our communities, in your close relationships. And then if you have access to support, reach out to that support. You can hire support, get that support. Saying, you know what, I'm not in denial no more. I know that I need help. I know that I haven't still have these different symptoms. I'm I now want to overcome this. So I would say that that would be the first step.
Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. And I think we're both assisting in uplifting that right now. You know,
Right, exactly.
yes. Another question I want to ask is, and this is just something I'll be thinking about with my mother. She passed away when I was in grade school, and I wasn't. I didn't have the I didn't live with my mother. All my, as a child, my mother had issues that she was dealing with, with drug abuse or whatnot, and it seemed like certain things. I mean, as I get older, I learn more about my mother, but some things I will question myself about, like maybe my relationships, even from with family, friends, with my child, even dating. I will wonder, like, is can I be getting this type of can I be getting this from my mom? Like wanting to know more about her and how was her relationships? How was she when she was my age? What was my mom doing? Because it's like, stories that I'm still getting from my mother, from me not really being that close with her when I
Mm-hmm.
was young. And I hold no type of regrets or anything, or don't feel any type of way now, since as I get older, I know. But do you think that trauma be can it come like from generations and generations, and I mean from even ancestors, and even up currently from your mother, your grandmother, your aunt, or you think that could be something that we're dealing with within our families?
Oh yes, generational trauma is real, both through
Mm.
nature and nurture. And nature and nurture is pretty much nature naturally passing it down, as well as nurture, whether it may be the lack of nurture, or let's just say your parents have not processed their own trauma and they're raising you traumatized. Then they're going to raise you from a place of trauma. So you're going to be picking up those habits of trauma, right? You're going to be picking up a lack of boundaries or addiction habits and things of that sort from the nurture side of it. So generational trauma is definitely a real thing in our community, and trauma that is unprocessed is passed down. So if we don't, me and you in our generation, if we don't heal our own trauma and we raise our children from where we are now without healing, then they also get that trauma, as well as when we physically gave birth to them and the traumas that we had unprocessed, we also they also inherit that as well. So that is another reason why we should make sure that we heal our trauma, because if not, we pass it down to our children. And also, unprocessed trauma in the body can cause us to even give our children disorders and different things like that, that are we starting to see now because of the unprocessed trauma. And the more generations it keeps going, the worse it's going to be in our community. So definitely, generational trauma is a real thing.
Wow. And that's what I got from it when I start to, dissect it for myself. That's what I got from it. And I just think sometimes some people don't think about that, and we shouldn't be hard on ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So even with the when you were speaking of the five, what was it again about trauma?
The 5 stages of healing.
The five stages. Yes, yes. Like even just I'm gonna have to get those five stages, because
Okay.
I'm had to write them down. I should have wrote them down, but because I was taking note. But even just writing it down, and then when you come up with something, a trigger or whatnot, you could just go through the process. Because that's what I did when I was speaking on with my mother. At a young age, I may have had some type of resentment because I didn't know. But as I got older, I'm like, I gotta see, what's going on. And it was able for me to be like, oh, okay, and to comfort myself about it and be like, it's okay. We going it's all right. You know what I'm saying? And we just move on, and everybody just not thinking of that sometimes and just not even can't even be able to try the process. But if you just try your best, guys, it definitely will be something beautiful for us. Um, can some of our day-to-day routines and like the way we react to certain things involve trauma?
100%. 100%. When I mentioned the stress response and the fight, flight, these are fawn, that has a lot to do with trauma response. Unprocessed trauma in the body, trauma that we have not resolved. Out, we're responding through those stress responses. Stress responses that are created in our body to survive in a very dangerous situation. For instance, if you're being attacked by a bear or a lion, your body is going to help you to survive by running away very far, by being able to fight the lion and being able to free and kill you, or romanticize and say, "Oh, I love you. Come here, let me pet you." On response. So this why I bring that shows up in our day-to-day life when you have unprocessed trauma, and let's say someone triggers you and you get extremely angry or you fall. Well, that's the fight response, right? That's the stress response. If you're codependent and you because you are people pleasing, it response as well. When you want to kind of pet the lion, it's the same response as that we're in an extreme sense of danger moment. Are very unhealthy. The reactions of being angry or being in isolation, right? Not wanting to be around, wanting to seclude yourself. These are all part of the stress response, part of responding to trauma. I know I'm saying a lot, but yes, we definitely respond to trauma when we have unprocessed trauma.
Yeah, absolutely. You're saying a lot, but you're saying enough for me because it's just like I'm just like, man,
I
she
love
hitting it all on the spot. And
sometimes I want to confuse anybody.
yes, absolutely. And I'm here. Look, we live on YouTube, and people. I have some of my people here, and they're saying, this is a very great topic, and saying that it's so true. So they are definitely tapped in and listening to what you're saying, and it's something that I appreciate it that you're coming in and just sharing this with me and my guests. We definitely are in the nightlife, guys, and it is going down. I am so excited, and I feel like we are just just scraping off some of the excess just cloudiness that we be having, and just trying to get through it. We all are. No one's perfect, and that's why I wanted to just transition with my platform and have people, beautiful people such as yourself, to come on and help. You never know when somebody may really need to hear this, and I get that a lot. And it's to the point to where I may see a person, make them smile or tell me you're beautiful, and they be like, "Man, I needed that today." So I said, I need to just start doing this with my platform, and I do this on a day to day dealing with people, and it's just like, nah, I need to probably reach out to more people across the world, and just see where it goes and do more of God's service, right? And that's what we're here for. So I have a topic that I want to speak about. We're still talking about, this trauma, but just being toxic, dealing with like dating and relationships, I'm a single young lady here, and I know you're married and you have a beautiful family, and it's like two-sided, you know what I'm saying? And like for like instance for just being in a relationship, or just like I was saying, just dating life, can being toxic be a part of trauma? Because sometimes I'll be feeling like I'll be cutting up sometime, and is this why me dating is just like not it's just not working for me. Or okay, let me just say this too. Like I'm a Libra, and I just know how I could be sometimes. Like I love being by myself. I just love being, to myself and just and sometimes I could just I don't be wanting to ghost, but sometimes I just might ghost a nigga and be like, like it's not giving what it's supposed to give for me. So I'm just gonna move along, especially if you're not giving me what I'm supposed to, what I feel is doing I'm what I need. And it's just like, even for my like attention span. But anyway, another topic. Can trauma be a part of you being toxic?
For sure. Trauma is definitely going to be linked to toxic relationships, toxic behavior, individuals in themselves being toxic. It's just the trauma. It's almost like a trash can that isn't taken out, right? It's filled up
Mm-hmm.
with pain and shame and guilt and hurt, and it's all in someone, and it has to come out, right? And if you're not going to take
Yeah.
the trash can out, well, then it's going to smell, and everywhere you go, you're going to smell like a trash can. And I use that example to just say, when you have trauma and all these pain and hurt within yourself and you don't deal with it, it's obviously going to show up in the communication that you have with those around you. And the different thing about dating is, when you date, the communication is more, you communicate a lot more when you date someone. You communicate probably all the time. So that's why it shows up a lot more in dating relationships, because there's so much contact. So that's why the toxicity in relationships shows up a lot more, because when you're communicating with someone in a relationship, intimate relationship, you're communicating a lot more, and it's going to expose not only the beautiful parts of you, right, but it's also you're gonna be exposed to everything. And if there are unhealed places, then that's going to be a problem. And there's also something called trauma bonding, right? If two people both have trauma that is unresolved, they sometimes connect very much because of the trauma, right? You might fall in love with someone because you see the trauma in them that you've experienced. That's not a
Mm.
healthy thing to do, but it's a lot of the patterns that people have in their dating.
I may be one of
Right.
them.
It's called trauma bonding.
Oh my God. But I'm glad you said that. And I have to identify that because it's like, okay, that's just like a woman may want, like the thug or the gangster or the dope dealer or the guy
Right,
who's just, macho. You know what I'm saying? And he
right.
ain't even really worth shit. Excuse my language. I'm so sorry. But
That's okay.
it's just like he just might not even be like worth it. And it's just like you're just so attracted to this, it's just even like when you see a homeless guy or something, like a homeless woman, and you want to help them and you feel sorry for them. I can see where I've probably been in that kind of feeling before when I was dealing with a guy, and I'm just like, now and today for me, I'm more for self. That's why I've been sharing more about self love and
Good.
you can't save everybody, but I'm not trying to really just be on that because I'm here to help whoever, however. But I have to be for me. In order for me to help you, I have to be for me. I have to take care of me
Right.
first. So both of us having this situation is not going to work because I can be probably over the top. I can make the situation worse, maybe. And it's like, nah, let me just work. Let me get myself together. And I just also want to add to, um, I also want to add this when I was stating, I may be in, doing toxic things, or have done it before. That's something that I had to see for me, and this is why self love, self care is something that I've been practicing because I identified that, and I was like, nah, before I could give anybody else love, let me make sure I can love myself, you know,
Right.
and I'm
Right.
gonna continue to do that, and that's probably why I like being by myself right now. And I don't mind just being like, I don't even care to come date you. I mean, I don't care for the lunch or some women won't deny a lunch or date. I'm denying it, and I'm watching my weight, so I don't care. It's
That's
just like,
trauma recovery and self love. They go hand in hand. That is the gateway to healing. Is self love. Healing is rooted in self love. That is the journey that everyone has to take to heal and recover. To really celebrate being where you are right now and being okay with being alone. That's what it takes to really process and heal and become and figure out what you really want and what you don't want. So key piece healing is having that self-love.
Yeah, and don't feel as though it's selfish, guys. Don't feel as though you don't let nobody tell you selfish. Someone told me I was being selfish, and I was just like, good, because all all I've been doing is looking out for people, and I gain nothing. You know, I'm glad I'm being selfish for me and my son, and growing my relationship with God. Right. So it's just like, don't let nobody tell you otherwise, and then you feel like, oh, you're right. No, and I could be the one to when someone tell me that I'm at fault or if I'm doing wrong. I like to look at both sides. You know what I'm saying? I'm about balance. Like I said, I'm a Libra. That's all I'm about. So I like to look at the good and the bad. And it's not what's up. Okay, guys. I think we kind of paused a bit. We kind of paused a bit with Miss Nikki. She should be coming right back in. I think her something went down with her mic. But yes, guys, this is definitely an interesting topic dealing with trauma, and it goes deep, and you could dissect it, guys. I love everybody in here in this chat room. You guys are talking here. Chanel says, right, stuck in a cycle of trauma along with your other past hurts. Yes, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. It's a situation here, and we need to talk about it. I'm here with no filter right now because she should come back, guys. I'm here with no filter right now because things get tough, and some people, like I said, see themselves. They can't see themselves not talking about it. Like, I mean, talking about it and sharing it. Sometimes that deals with trust issues, and you know that's why she said you need a support system. That's why it's good to have people that you can count on. I know that family that you can trust, being able to let it all out on the table so you guys can heal with each other. And I feel like this topic is right on spot for my ladies that are hearing this live on my Facebook and my YouTube. I love y'all so much. And let me know in the comments what do you think about the show. And if you have any questions in regards to, you know, what we're talking about with this right now, share it because Miss Nikki is here to assist us. And if you guys would love to have um her services, you can definitely check out her website. Nikki Made New, that's Nikki Made New NEW.com. You guys can definitely check her out. And she also has on the website where you can book a free um consultation with her. Here we go. You're back.
Yes, I am back, you guys. I am so sorry. I'm happy it worked.
Oh
And I'm
yeah.
happy you were able to still be both of us.
Oh no, I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna hold it down. Make sure.
Right. Good.
Make sure
Good.
you. Yeah, I was just sharing with everyone about your website, and I'm gonna put it in the link. You guys, make sure you tap in with her. And you're all the way in Cali, guys. I have some people here. Some of my family and friends are in this live. We gotta go to Cali, y'all. We gonna have to go out to Cali and drink us some lemonade and iced tea with Miss Nikki.
For
Okay.
sure. You guys got to come visit and see the beaches out here.
Oh man, that's why I've been trying to work out and go to the gym so I can
Get
so I
ready
can
for
get
the
it
summer.
together. Yeah, I'm trying to get it together, for myself, you know.
Right.
Child, I got talk about some things about like how it's so stressful about social media and these women, these fine women and these beautiful women, and they're getting their bodies done, and there's no shame in your game. But I truly want to work it off myself. I want to work for have some type of discipline, and be
Right.
consistent. And
Right.
I battle with that. I have battled with that. Let me change my words. I
Right.
have battled with that being consistent. I always been a person to be consistent, but as time when I would go through my modes, no, I can't follow through up with certain things. And right
And I think
now it's awesome.
right. And a lot of times with the approach, it really has to come from a place rooted in self-love. That it
Mm,
has to come from a really gentle place, a place of self-compassion, really being gentle
mhm.
with yourself and loving yourself. And then as that journey of, the approach of loving yourself and you get stronger and stronger in that self-love and in that relationship with yourself, it starts to make these things that you want to be consistent at a lot easier. But if you put those things before you put the journey of self-love, I think that that's where it becomes really difficult.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're right about that. Now, like I was stating, we have some beautiful ladies in my life today,
So,
and I want to share. Both you can share with me and us about as with Black women, what traits are we carrying with us that causes this hurt, as well as mothers
you said what traits are we carrying that cause what?
that will cause what as Black women, what traits are we carrying with us that will cause this hurt and trauma that we may have as just women and as mothers.
Right. So I think the traits that we have that are rooted in trauma would be low self-esteem, lack of confidence, naive, kind of willing to cross our own boundaries, a lack of boundaries in relationships, not being really self-aware, not trusting ourselves, not putting ourselves first. Um,
Yes.
those type of things are what is showing up for us that is affecting us, and these things are rooted in trauma, rooted in abandonment and rejection. And these are some of the things that we have to cultivate and heal from as we heal our trauma. But I would say those are the ones that come to mind right away.
Oh, everything you say, I was getting So absolutely, guys. Look, share this episode with who you may think may need this, so it don't even matter. Just share it with your family and friends, because this is some serious this is some serious things that Nikki is touching up on, and we don't even be knowing. And it's just like beyond me to even like all these years of my life, I had never wasn't thinking about it. But I would say this: there are different chapters in our lives, and at this chapter, I grew and I progressed, and I feel as though I don't regret it, and it's perfect timing because of what's coming for me, right? What's coming for us, we just
Exactly.
we gotta know, yeah, and don't beat yourself up, because I'm saying this from a place for myself. Don't beat yourself up, man. Like if you feel like you have made some, like you were saying, um some naive choices, or just feeling like just feeling like you're doing some silly things, it's okay. If you're 50 years old, or if you're 15 or 20 years old, don't beat yourself up if you may feel like, nah, I'm too old for this. It's okay. Just it's all right. This is your story, and this is how these chapters are mapped out for you. Because
Right.
they say, right, isn't it that they say, God, He is our is already written for us. So this is just what it is, and embrace that, because everyone's story is the same. I mean, not the
Exactly.
same. Excuse me. Everyone's story is not the same. So,
Right.
yeah. Again, a lot of things that we touched up on, I think were awesome. And I truly, truly appreciate you coming in and speaking with us. Now, I would like for you to again just share with us like some closing remarks, like what kind of advice, what you could give, just one advice or whatever, just like, share with us how can we move forward, and what kind of goals should we be setting moving forward to just suppress the trauma, the hurt, and to regain our happiness.
Definitely said we don't want to hold on to the trauma anymore. What I would say is that healing, important decision that you could ever make in your life. That is a decision who you really are. Who you are before you heal is nowhere near who. And this is coming from someone who not only knows about this and is educated, who's all, who I healed and who I am today is a completely different person. I ever made was to go on a journey of healing. No matter how hard, no matter how embarrassing it is, how much shame, how much pain, how much guilt, and how many mistakes you have made, make a decision to heal and become who you really are, the confident and authentic you. Make a decision and to fight for yourself. And it's going to be hard. It's not easy. There is a part of healing that is really hard. She talked about today maybe being 50 years old and you haven't faced this trauma for over 50 years or 20 years. and having to start to acknowledge it, it feels like too much, and it may be too much, but you can do it. Don't give up on yourself. So that is my like wish for all of you, is that you make that decision to heal. And what that goal looks like is, it can look different for everybody and different in every aspect of your life, but show up as who you really are in all, the real you, the before you lost your you were, the feelings of rejection. That is who you're going to become. It's going to open the door for so many opportunities for you to find out your purpose, called to do, and to go out and begin to serve those people. Be exactly who God created you to be in this world. So I really want to see all of you healed. And if you guys have questions, I'm always, it's a wonderful opportunity to be in Nyte Lyfe today.
Thank you, thank you, and it's much appreciated. You kind of was in and out, but we got, it's okay because we got everything we needed. It's all right, guys. It's just, the internet may be tripping a bit, the Wi-Fi, whatnot, and we just, whoever knows, maybe they don't want us talking about this because we're here to help each other and whatever. We're gonna get it out. I truly, truly appreciate you here, Miss Nikki. And again, you guys can check out her website, Nikki Made New. That's Nikki Made New new.com. I have it in the description on YouTube. Guys, if you're here, I will have all the information. You guys make sure you support her and follow her on Facebook and Instagram. Same, correct?
Yeah, Nikki May know.
Okay, Nikki Made New, and I love that too. I love that. And again, guys, this is such a beautiful journey that we are on. And if you guys would love to continue, I would love to have you on the show again and we talk about another topic. I want to also share that you had shared a live with me through Zoom about boundaries yesterday. And
Right.
I can share the link with you guys as well, and add it on to this show if you want to, if that's fine with you. I can share the link with everyone.
Oh, yeah, go ahead and share that link. That would be awesome. You guys can take a look at that. That is about boundaries, and that's part of what we lose from trauma, and it's really detailed. So you guys check that out.
Absolutely, guys. We could definitely dissect this, and she would be definitely. I would love for you to come again, and we could probably bring upon another topic. If so, I'm definitely here to support you as you're supporting others and myself, and I definitely appreciate it. Um, as we are closing, I appreciate everyone for coming in. Let's see here. I have my YouTube family. You guys are okay. So many people need to hear this. Very informative. Yes, it was. Yes, we must be whole, especially as women living in the fulfillment of integrity. Yes,
Right.
Miss Chanel. I love that. I love that. Um, I love that you guys came in and they said the show was really good. Yes, I appreciate that.
Thanks you guys for being here with us today.
Yes, it's very awesome, and I look forward to more. And I will be sharing this. So let's say about tomorrow. I know we on this podcast right now. I end up cutting it right here, but guess what? I will make sure that this will be airing tomorrow. I need you guys to share this with people and let them know that we are in the nightlife. Okay. Now, with that being said, guys, I appreciate you. I'm so grateful. I'm truly grateful for my audience and my guests for coming in, tapping in with me, and being in the nightlife. You know what I'm saying? In real time, guys, we are here, and I hope you all have a blessed night.
Bye.